In New World, there's a lot of running. And by a lot, I mean a lot. You have to run everywhere at least once to get a fast travel, and even some places that don't have fast travels, you're going to run many more times. But fast travels are there to make life a little bit easier and get you around the map quicker. And that's what this video is about. We'll talk about fast travels, how they work, and ways that you can reduce your cost a little bit. So first things first, you can fast travel between any town you've discovered. And all that means is you've walked into the town and seen it. You don't have to check in anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You've just discovered the town. Once you've done that, you're able to fast travel between any towns that you have discovered. So for example, I can go to Monarchs with a fast travel here, but I cannot go up to Ebonscale. This one I don't have because I've never explored there. You have to visit the settlement first in order to fast travel there. This applies to spirit shrines as well, and these are scattered all over the map. So for example, here in Everfall, I have the Shadowmine Shrine. Cost me 16 Azoth to travel there. But down here in Reekwater, this shrine I don't have. So I can't fast travel there until I go and discover it. And this is how you can find those. You can look around on the map for them, and they show up as they all look the same little shape. They have a little hexagon thing around them. And once you have those, they also have a giant blue light that shines up in the sky that you can see. Once you have those, you can fast travel to and from them as long as you have the Azoth to do it. There is one over here in Monarch's Bluff, I believe. Maybe it's, yeah, this one right here. This isn't a fast travel. I don't know if that was there in the beta or what it was, but it's not there anymore. It's still on the mini map, but you can't use it. Don't go, you find this one, don't waste your time. You can't get there. The Fisher, there's one at the Fisher that you can do, but that's it. Now to move around, as you've seen, Azoth is the resource you use to move around. Azoth is gathered through a couple of ways in the game, but it is the primary resource for fast traveling. Now the cost is calculated using several factors. Your first one is your base cost, which is 50. You're always going to have a 50 base cost. No matter what, that is your cost. Then you have a distance cost. So the further you travel, the more it costs. If you look, we'll go to Morningdale, for example. And if we go to fast travel up here, our distance cost is 155. But our travel to Restless Shores is 110. So that's the distance. As the farther away, the more it costs. Now, this distance cost doesn't look like it kicks in until about 1,500 meters or so. It's kind of hard to tell, but the lowest cost I'm able to find with on me is 15. That's the lowest distance cost. I haven't been able to see a 14 or a 10. Anything below that is essentially free, so there is no distance cost here. Now, after that, you have encumbrance cost. You can see here my encumbrance cost is 20. This is entirely based on your weight. Now, after all these costs are added up, you have your discounts applied, and there's 3 discounts. I'll talk about the first one here later. We'll get to that one last. The faction control discount, that's -15. We'll talk about that one last. The next 2 are your faction discount and your company discount. And these are applied if your faction owns the territory or your company owns the territory. Now you can see that if you go into benefits of any town, this screen here will show up. And this is your 40% discount here and your 70% discount here for governor company members and faction members. Those apply all over the map. So if I go down to First Light, for example, we don't have a company discount, but we have a faction discount. Now, the faction control discount, that comes from forts. And there's a couple specific forts that offer you discounts. So since our faction owns First Light, we have this lower fast travel weight cost right here. Lower reduced cost by 1 per 10 weight. Cutlass also has a reduction. It lowers your Azoth cost by 50% on the base cost. So that's that 50. It'll lower that to 25. And then lastly, you have Monarch's Bluff. This one lowers your travel distance cost by 1 per 100 meters. So those are your 3 discounts to fast travel, these 3 territories right here. And that's if you control the forts. You don't have to control the territory, you just have to control the fort and you get those discounts. Now, there are other fast travels available, and they're not necessarily fast travels, not by the direct word. They call them recalls. The first one I'm going to talk about is Recall to Inn, and I got to find where am I at. I'm in Brightwood. All right, so this is a free discount, Recall to Inn. This allows you to recall once an hour to wherever you set your inn at. And you run into the town, you run into the respective inn, and you set that. And then you can recall there once an hour, and that's it. It's free, it's regardless of distance, and it doesn't have any costs for weight. Like this is your house discounts. Now, I have a house in Everfall, so I can recall here, and you can see there is no timer. I'm going to do a recall real quick. We'll see if it works. All right, we're recalling to my house, and I'll show you how the timer works there, because what you have, I have the most expensive house you can buy. So, all right, so I've recalled to my house, and you see I have a timer now. Now, I have the most expensive house, which means I have a 2-hour timer. The The cheaper houses have longer timers. But as you can see here, I have a 49 Azoth to reset the cooldown. And as the cooldown gets lower, this gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. This is like the inn. It doesn't matter distance and it doesn't matter weight. You can recall to this location. This makes houses one of the cheapest ways to fast travel around the map. You can own up to 3 houses. It's completely dependent upon your level. Now, you can own up to 3 houses, and this is dependent on your level. You get your first house at level 15, your second house at 35, and your third house at 55. So you can have 3 houses in different locations and use them all to fast travel around. Stack this with your inn, and then perhaps not having a house in your faction home or wherever you do most of your trading, and you can essentially fast travel around 5 places on the map extraordinarily cheaply. And that's that. That's fast travel around New World explained in as short as a video as I could. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I want to do a quick shout out for the Patreons. Those guys are huge supporters of the channel, and I'm greatly appreciative of them. I hope you found this video useful, and we'll see you in the New World.